flashlight on. Nerves flowing, I guess. Not really that nervous. But the assignment is to speak for 5 minutes straight. So I'm gonna try to do that. And there's nothing really particular on my mind right now. But it was just the end of the day. It was a solid. I didn't really know if I was gonna speak for 5 minutes or I was gonna start freestyle rapping. I've been really working on my writing recently, which is something I used to hate doing. And now it's very therapeutic. And now I'm trying to play with it more, right? Get the message across. Look into ways to, I want to get into freestyling where I'm talking about masterfully putting the words together, you know, weaving metaphors, similes, and mixing it with just wordplay in general. So I think the ability to do that, I really like when artists do that. So I would really like to be able to do that. I think that'd be game changing. Come recently to find out, I always thought I was left-brained, but that's just because I was, suppressing all my emotions of my right brain. It turns out I'm very right brain dominant, but that was very suppressed for many, many years. And now I am more right brain than I am left brain. But I feel like that's kind of a benefit because that means I was able to work on my left brain for many, many years, boosting the ability to when I create both, then the world goes, So we're like 3 minutes into this rant, if you will, and I'm not really sure what to say next. I'm very focused on like my hand movements, things that I learned to take up space, use your sphere. I'm really trying not to use the word but I keep saying it, so it keeps taking me off because I keep saying it. I recently completed 2 marathons. The whole idea of the marathon really was nothing to do with running. See, something happened, emotions were high, and I just needed to get out. I didn't know what to do, so I ended up like driving to my mom's house. It was like 45 minutes away. Actually, it was like 4 hours away. Like I needed to clear my head. And she said something to me that sticks with me. And it was, "What are you running from?" And at the time, I wanted to be all, I'm not running from anything. I don't run from anything. But it slowly started to eat away at me. And I wonder why it kept eating away at me. And it was because there was some truth to that. What was I running from? And that was the one thing that really plagued me. And it just spiraled down into, I was really running from myself. And, nothing changes if nothing changes. At this time I was listening to like a lot of David Goggins and whatnot. And so I just started running. I Forrest Gumped it across and just started running. And the more I ran, the more I understood myself. And it was because I was holding myself back my entire life. My entire life. And it really made me mad when I figured that out, right? You go through your little healing process, whatever parent trauma you have, right? And I think we all have it. Especially in our generation, we all have the fucking trauma from social media and yada, yada, yada. But your parents did the best that they could. You have to assume that your parents did the best that they can with what they knew. the education around mental health and today is just not the same as it was for our parents' generation. So, unless you were like horribly abused, assume that they loved you and they did what they could to best provide for you, and just leave it at that, right? Because in my family, right, like there's a lot of mental health issues on both sides. But what it took really long to figure out, right? You have to start tracing things back and doing all the work on yourself. But these mental health issues were like viruses that ran in the family. And there's these behaviors, how you treat people, the relationships you have with people, not just romantic, but your friends, mentors, everybody. Asking for help, right? Feeling like you can do everything yourself, right? Like you see these things, and the only thing I knew to do with those things was to just break everything. I didn't know what to do, what to build on, what to fix, what to keep. The only thing I knew was to break literally everything. And how that started was with me running. I've never ran a mile outside of gym class. Now, I've always played sports, so I've always been athletic, right? I probably ran more than a mile in a football game, right? But to go and just run a mile straight was like absurdity to me. I don't know why people did it. But as I kept doing it, as I kept pushing, right, what I really found was that air of achievement. For once in my life, I was able to look back in the mirror and really be proud of the person that I saw. And that was something that was missing from my whole entire life. Whatever achievements that I've had, and I've achieved a great deal of things before this point, but they were never for me. They were never because I don't know how to describe this, right? Like, a lot of what was driving me before this point was external validation. Like, you just want to think, like, you want everybody to validate you, I guess, right? Like, obviously there's way better ways to say that, but yeah, you just want to be validated, and that's such a toxic thing to chase. The unfortunate part is majority of us that do chase that kind of thing don't realize it. I was in a place where I had to reflect everything on my life, what I was going after, what I was chasing. How did I end up in this spot right here? The people in my lives, right? Was I living the exact life that I wanted to live? And if so, like, and if I wasn't, then why not? There's benefits, or there's pros and cons to being both very deep thinker and very introspective. And one of the benefits is you think a lot. One of the downsides, you think a lot. And, luckily, I think I was able to figure it out. Ended up right here. I was supposed to do my 5 minutes. We're probably on like 10 right now. I don't even know if this is going anywhere. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe this is my first YouTube video. Maybe it's not. Probably won't be. But I'm gonna go analyze it. I'm gonna go check myself out. I'm gonna go make sure we're good, because what's coming next is going to be amazing. And now I can confidently say that because I'm gonna put in the work to make it amazing. Watch.